Rocky drops Yondu's girlfriend off a mountain. This is spoilers.
This is spoiler.
I am your host, Stevie, recording from Josh's basement in Goshen, Indiana.
I can see your face.
I can see everyone's faces, including Pappy's. Pappy, where are you recording from?
Hey, this is Pappy, recording from Denver, Colorado, just a couple blocks from the U.S. Mint. And I'm excited to talk about Cliffhanger.
Today, we are talking about the Sylvester Stallone classic, Cliffhanger. I'll just go in the IMDb description real quick. Should I read it in the movie voice guy, or do you guys want to read it in the movie voice guy description?
Movie voice or spoiler man?
Ooh, I don't think he would do it. I think he's gotten pretty big league for us.
Can't afford him.
No, so I guess I'll just do it.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just read it normal. A botched mid-air heist results in suitcases full of cash being searched for by various groups throughout the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot more to it, but this movie starts off with a bang for an intro. Do you guys want to describe it at all?
Yeah.
Well, have you seen Ace Ventura 2 Pet Detective?
Quite the ripoff. Actually, quite the parody they did.
You know, I've never...
Have you seen The Dark Knight Rises?
I've never
Or
seen...
Heat?
Oh, boy.
Okay, anyway, keep going.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, the opening scene of Ace Ventura 2, for our fans that have seen that, know that basically the same thing happens, except it's a raccoon that's trapped. And it's arguably more sad, but this is the first time I've ever seen Cliffhanger. And I knew what was going to happen because of Ace Ventura 2
Oh,
Pet
no!
Detective.
Hang on! Hang on, little buddy! I gotcha! I think I gotcha! Maybe not!
But you said that it started off with a bang, and it did. I literally had a little bit of sweat on my hands, after that first 12 minutes.
Yeah, I just got done eating and I felt sick to my stomach watching.
What about Pappy? Did you have any sweat on your hands?
I was so happy she died. I was worried she wasn't going to die when he caught her for a second, but I was pumped when she finally fell. I was like, all right, this movie's got some balls. Let's kill some people.
Is this your first time, too?
Yeah, this is my first time seeing this, and I haven't seen Ace Ventura 2, so I was, completely surprised by the drop.
Pap, were your hands sweaty, as is
My
not usual?
They were extra pap hands.
Extra
greasy,
greasy.
extra sweaty. All parts of me were sweaty watching this.
What?
Got real quiet.
No, you make a good point, though. This movie does have some balls, because there's no, armor around any of these characters, maybe outside of Sylvester Stallone and Yondu. What is that dude's real name? Christ. I'm so unprepared
Michael
tonight.
Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
Well, since you're bringing him up, I know him best, not from Guardians of the Galaxy, but Mallrats. And I knew I had known his, I didn't recognize his face, because he's, pure bald.
Got that voice.
He plays like a 60-year-old dude, but, he has a very recognizable voice. And
This intro...
you guys like Mallrats, right? Have you guys ever seen Mallrats?
Never
I've never
seen
seen
it.
it.
Well, let me win trivia tonight, and I will give you a treat.
Kind of hope you picked The Last Jedi again, but that's neither here nor there. But round two. But this movie does start off really sad, though, because it's quite emotional when the girl's screaming, "I don't want to die, I don't want to die."
It's breaking, she's losing it! Sarah! You're the second baby! Please,
Hurry, Gabe. You're almost there. You're almost there, Gabe. Keep going.
I'm here, Sarah. Sarah, I'm here.
I don't want to die.
Sarah! Reach up and grab him! Reach up! Sarah, reach up! Come on, honey! Use your other hand! Reach up! Reach up now! Reach up! I got you! I got you! I got you! You're right! You're right! You're not gonna die! Don't you lose her, Gabe!
And Yondu's on the other side of a cliff with a sprained knee.
Don't you fucking drop her, man!
Don't you drop her!
Getting super
Putting it
climactic.
all
You're
on
like,
Rocky.
Please don't let me fall. Please, I don't want to die.
You're not gonna die! Sarah, I got you! Just reach up! You can do it! Please, baby, just reach up! Reach up! Gabe! Man, don't you lose her! Don't you let her go!
Don't let me fall.
Sir, please.
No, I'm living. Gabe, don't let me fall.
gonna save her. He's gonna save her. When that glove starts going, my wife cried watching this, and I think she kind of ate her words because her first words when she saw the intro were, "This movie better end on a cliffhanger," and scoffed.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, and then she saw that and she was crying already. I was like, yes. It gets kind of heavy in the beginning.
I think I know a way that they could have saved everyone, though.
Cut the line. Let it drop.
Well, I think
Including the teddy bear?
I think cutting it would smash up, but I think the helicopter, if it would have just rose up, they could have like held on and moved to the side or
Kind
something.
of zipped back. Does it work like that? I've never done the zip across a cliff.
I don't know. Once she's hanging by like half a broken clip, it's pretty much over, right?
Also, not to get like really weird, but like Sylvester Stallone, I know he does roids and HGH, but like typically he's like buffed up and his veins are popping out of his shoulders. He looked kind of trim in this movie. Is that like what what rock climbers look like?
I thought he still looked pretty big for a rock climber.
Yeah, I thought he looked
what's
ridiculous.
He like 250?
Yeah, he's like
He doesn't stop climbing the whole movie. Like he's got some crazy endurance.
He has like muscle bulges on places that are like indented on my body.
Okay, bro is 47 years old when he made this movie. He was nearing 50.
It's impressive.
And he looked better than people in their 20s and their 30s at this point. Good on him.
the only thing I couldn't stop thinking of was, there's no way. Where's Sylvester Stallone from? Like New Jersey or something? In real life?
He's
Like,
like-
why is
he
there a
has
guy
mush
from New
mouth.
Jersey climbing mountains with just a T-shirt on in Denver?
He's from New York, New York.
Swimming under the ice shirtless.
yeah, nobody's buying this.
Yeah, like no one would go from Elkhart to Denver and just start climbing rocks.
Okay, to kick this movie out, I feel like we're getting kind of behind here. Pay no attention to that last comment. There's a funny story behind it. But pretty much how it starts off was the treasurer is moving money, not by train, that can get knocked off. Not by car, that can get knocked off. But by plane, because no one has ever fucking done it. And, oh, you're going to say something. What's up?
No, not at all.
Okay. And they, guy in the treasury, he's bad. He's an inside guy. Bruce McGill, for some odd reason, is in this movie. He played like D-Day in Animal House. He was the fat guy with the mustache. Had no lines and gets instantly killed. I was so confused by it because it's like, this guy's been in a lot of big movies. Do you remember the movie Black Sheep?
Yeah.
He was like the bad lady's like handler, if you remember that at all.
You're talking about when they're all shot in like
Yeah,
the
he had
fuselage
no
area.
lines.
Yeah.
It was so confusing. It's like, this dude's a pretty big actor. Like, why would he take this role? What happened?
Pap, you're talking about this movie having balls. Did you like? I mean, this is basically a Departed-esque scene in the plane where everyone dies.
Well, it reminded me more of like The Dark Knight when I was watching it, because there's so many double crosses that happen. Like everyone's just like killing each other. Like it reminded me a lot of like the Joker was the last person standing, like in that movie.
Or The Dark Knight Rises.
So I think Stevie, you even tweeted today that like Christopher Nolan must have watched this movie.
We'll get that.
Okay.
Yeah, because another plane comes in behind the plane carrying the money. Inside guy kills everyone on board, so he thinks. And then they're going to shoot a zip line from one plane to another, transfer him to the plane as well as the money. Mikey, this reminds you at all of like The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, this is pretty much the exact same thing as The Dark Knight Rises. Something goes terribly wrong. There's a guy that was shot on the plane that gets back up, and he kind of takes revenge and shoots the bad guy who tried to cross him and
Yeah.
shoots up the plane.
How
should-
accurate was his shooting from plane to plane?
Oh my god.
With like an automatic.
That dude's done it before.
He was half
Taking
dead.
out fuel
He looked like
tanks,
a
killing
ghost.
pilots. Like
He was more wounded than Kylo Ren, pulling off.
He had 7 bullet holes in him. Has enough wherewithal, with blurry vision, I imagine, 'cause he's about to die,
Call of Duty blurry vision.
to shoot the guy who's going to send the money over, come up, shoot the sniper on the plane that was going to shoot him, shoot another guy in the doorway,
No scope.
shoot one of the people like manning the aircraft,
And then shoot at the windows.
shoot out the windows, and then a bomb goes off in that plane, and he's done so.
And he messed up their plane enough that they had to crash land. Like,
Right.
They weren't able to just fly on. He messed them up.
Right, which is where all the money flies out.
All the $1,000 bills. That's
Stevie, why do you love movies with plane crashes so much? This is your
I
third
don't-
pick.
Plane
of a movie with a
crashes
plane
in the
crash.
snow with wolves attacking people.
Those were huskies, my wife would say. But what did I do?
3,000 pound
Castaway,
wolves.
I did The Gray, and now this. Is this my third plane crash movie?
But second in a row.
What was Castaway?
Gray was last.
Oh shit! It's my second plane crash movie in a row.
You're on a roll. Can you pull off a third?
Easily. Depends how depressing you want it to be, but I can easily pull a third.
United 93.
Oh, gosh.
God, you're the worst. But $100 million flies out to the Rocky Mountains, and that's where we hit our other story of Gabe, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, whatever the fuck you want to call him, has been on an eight-month hiatus from Denver, Colorado, getting away from everybody after Sarah's funeral. And he returns to what I can only imagine is some of the worst dialogue ever written. What did you guys think about it? Did that stick out to any of you guys, how he would say something, and then when, what was her name, Sarah? Girl
It's
with
like
the short
they're
hair?
having separate conversations.
They're having separate
almost.
conversations. He would just hit it with another question, then repeat his own question.
How you doing, Jess? Got yourself a new horse?
Where have you been?
It's just, I don't expect much from Sylvester Stallone outside of shooting a gun or climbing a mountain. But I don't know. It says that he was a
Yeah.
he wrote the screenplay or something. So
And him and like the other screenwriter didn't do it together, so I gotta imagine he added his own touches.
yeah,
I wrote it. He means like I can't say most of these words.
Tries to says exasperated but can't do it.
While we're on this subject, once he gets his coat taken and he has to climb up and be in that building, and he's like kind of frozen and he's talking and he's like extra slobbery.
Yeah. Unintelligible.
Before they crashed, they dumped kids of money.
Yeah, but he returns, or him and Sarah married. He has a wedding ring on, and because like if you look at
That
his
confused
hand,
me.
he definitely has a ring on. Was that
Really?
Not Sarah? Who was the
Yeah.
other chick?
Jesse.
Jessie. My bad for saying Sarah. She died in the beginning, but Jesse. Were him and Jesse married?
He does have a wedding ring. I saw it too, but I was like looking for one on her hands. I
Couldn't
didn't
find
see
it.
one, so I was like confused by that.
Maybe he's just married in real life and didn't take it off for the scenes.
All the roids, he couldn't get the ring off.
Like, sorry, it's on there.
His hand's so fucking swollen.
He's married to the adrenaline of climbing rocks.
But he returns. The people who've crashed with, which John Lithgow, who I imagine everybody who's listening to this would recognize him as Lord Farquaad from Shrek.
Let me jar your memory. If you don't recognize him, you're useless.
But I mean, also Third Rock.
Third Rock.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's a bad guy in Dexter. I know a lot of people know him from
Never
that.
watched Dexter.
There's
You
like
can
one
go ahead
thing-
and spoil it. I don't
It's not a spoiler, but he's a bad guy for like a whole season of it. Like season 6, he's like the main serial killer.
James Franco's dad in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, he is in Planet of the Apes. He has a dad with Alzheimer's. I believe. Alzheimer's, right?
Well, you're just playing himself. That's really how his mental capacity is at this point.
But he's the ringleader of these bad guys who crash. I have a question for you guys, though. When they make a distress call because they find an open frequency and call Jesse, why did they ask for insulin? Because he was talking to Travers. He was like, you wouldn't have the smarts to pull that off. Like,
Yeah.
why did they call for insulin?
Lithgow really thought that was a genius plan, but I guess it was just like a medical emergency or something at that point.
It
so
would
the
get him to
rescue-
bring out the
yeah.
chopper.
Lauren also said you can kill people with too much insulin, so she thought maybe they would do that as well. Lauren, my wife, being like, you can like overdose people on insulin pretty easily.
You got any theories, Pat?
Like they're gonna use the insulin for poison? Oh, I'm trying to digest Stevie's theory just now.
It wasn't my theory. It's wife Lauren. I was just like, why'd they call for insulin?
You know what? I'm going to back up Pappy because I don't think that makes sense, and I'm mad at Lauren for making so much fun of me about the wolf comment.
Dude, 1,100 pound wolf is a little different than ODing on insulin.
I don't know why they called for insulin, but John Lithgow's voice when he's like, or his voice throughout this movie, like his English accent is so funny to me. Like I laugh every time he talks.
He's Bane. He's playing Bane in this movie. This is Dark
Christopher
Knight
Nolan
Rises.
is the king of ripping shit off.
This is Dark Knight. And Batman
First
Begins.
Heat with The Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises with Cliffhanger. It's the only two movies he's seen. Gotta be.
Kill a few people, they call you a murderer. Kill a million, and you're a conqueror.
But they make the distress call. Jesse's talking to Stallone about going to help Hal. And then he was like, I left that light behind me. I don't do that no more.
Climbing rocks. I don't climb no fucking rocks.
Can we backtrack a second? Because we skipped over two of my favorite characters in this
please
whole
go.
movie. I don't. What are their names? I don't even know. Is it one Ryan?
Yeah.
And one Evan? Ryan and Evan? They're two like stoner mountain dudes who are just like extreme to the core.
Gabe is back!
Oh yeah, let's go, man.
Track him down.
When he warns him about the weather, we like an extreme fist
We
bump.
like it.
If I hadn't known someone that moved to Colorado, I thought that'd have been way off. But I was like, that's kind of there. That's
definitely some people out here for sure. But like, why are they in this movie other than to be sacrificed later?
No
Spoiler
body
alert.
armor,
Like,
man.
Are they the comic relief? Like, what's the point of them?
I think it's for the emotional pull when you're like, oh no, not the goofy stoner dudes talking about air hockey tables.
I was
So they
imagining
just get slow
Stallone-
motion slaughtered.
I was imagining Stallone writing the dialogue for these guys, like totally radical, dude.
You guys notice when they pulled up to Stallone in his car, like the music they were playing was like funky and cool or something. It was like off.
Extreme!
How you doing, Gabe? Dude, turn that down.
You guys, how you doing, Brett? Evan?
Hey, man, where you been? Did you fall off the planet or something?
No, I've been working up in Denver.
Work?
Yeah.
Don't say that word, man. Man, I hate work. Even when somebody else is doing it.
He's like, yeah, it's like stock music, but he's like, this totally sounds like what the kids are listening to.
Yeah, this is hip.
But from when Gabe goes out to help Hal and he climbs up to meet him, that's when all the puns begin in this movie, which are some of my favorite puns ever.
They literally say "stick around."
Oh
It's
yeah,
a line from Predator, but sorry,
which came before
Predator is from the 80s.
80s.
Yeah.
You're right. So rivalry between him and Schwarzenegger
But I
continues.
doubt Predator was the first movie to say
They stick around.
First time it's ever been said.
But
Hey, stick around.
him and Hal are getting in a fight and about who dropped Sarah, whose fault it was, which I don't understand how you can blame Rocky for this. I thought like he did all he could do and everybody's mad at him.
Dude, he
Well, dude,
whipped out his
Yondu
arm.
instantly blames Rocky. Like, he's sad for a second, then he looks up and is instantly, like, jaw face angry. Like, you.
You
It's like, oh,
motherfucker. And then
that was quick.
one of my favorite puns is when he's telling Hal, just drop it. And he grabs him by the shoulder. He's like, no, you dropped it. And he puts him over a cliff.
Really on the nose.
Well, also the girlfriend, it was a little confusing because at one point she's referred to as like some chick he had met that can't even climb, and then later Yondu's like, "I loved her." So like, was it I don't know.
She's an impressive climber. She'd get that high up there. Like on your first climb, like. And it looked like they were free soloing, honestly, unless I didn't see a bunch of stuff.
I don't even know what that means. So
Climbing with
Without
no
any
like hooks and ropes
or
and shit. I don't know. That's the way it looked to me.
Okay, first of all, we got to go back to the beginning. They were climbing in nothing but a t-shirt and shorts, and they only get rescued because this girl sprained her knee on the very top of the peak of the mountain.
He
they
sprained
already
his knee.
Yeah, and then like, oh yeah, we should probably get a rescue.
no, but actually he sprained his knee getting out of the hot tub. So why did
That
they
was
get?
a war wound.
He reactivated it.
He reactivated
A
his
sprained
okay.
knee. Yeah. Not a Vietnam War wound.
But yeah, good thing it happened at the very top so they could finish their climb, then call in what I would assume is a very cheap helicopter rescue.
How much would a helicopter rescue cost, to be honest with you?
In pure gasoline
Yeah.
or like labor? Like, I don't know. Talking about probably in the thousands, I'd guess.
And the life of Sarah cost that.
But
So not that much.
yeah, Gabe and Hal.
How much is a human life worth? Pappy.
Pappy.
Oh.
You seem like you're in the state of mind to
About
answer
Tree
that.
Fitty?
But Gabe and Hal get to the crash site, instantly have guns pointed at them, and they have this awesome 3D tracker that shows them where all the cases are.
Awesome in quotes.
So awesome.
It's like the virtual Game Boy. Do you guys
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. And you look
it's
down
like
and
a
you're
red.
like, oh, no way.
Yeah, these 3 polygons, I guess, look like the side of a mountain.
Do you know where this is?
And they're instantly like, "Yup, we
Speak, boy. Do you know where this is?
Stallone has like a photographic memory.
It's like, oh, and they go to the first case. They pretty much send one of the guys up instead of 2. Tie a rope around Freaky Dicky Stallone's ankle, then make him get down to nothing but a t-shirt. And
Well, I mean, his dong's not flopping.
He's got...
bigger or
coat.
smaller than Vigo? Bigger or smaller than Vigo?
I think this roids make it smaller, bro.
Probably with the HGH might count.
And Aragorn was pretty hefty.
He
like,
started
he's
out
okay.
bigger, and then it got...
Then it got smaller. But he goes up, gets the case. John Lithgow, Quaylen, makes a side comment like, when he comes down, kill him. We don't need 2 guides. And Hal freaks out, tells him to run. And why does Gabe like destroy the money and throw it off?
Well, he's not going to carry that around.
Why not just leave it up there? They can't get up there.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just leave
I
it
think
there.
if he leaves it up there, they'll know it's up there.
Right, so if he throws it off, it's like he may have died with the fall.
Maybe, but I think...
Because they were surprised he was still alive, so I think they thought he like fell with like the avalanche.
I think even if they get one case of money, they're going to have enough money to like escape.
Right.
So I think he's trying to avoid that.
That
Which
could
is
be.
pretty keen for him at that point in the movie, because I was lost till the end thinking back on it. Because at the time it's like,
Why did he? Can you bust open U.S. Treasury like things like that with just like rocks? With your fist just pounding away?
Yeah. It's just that easy. I think it was just
These
a
were
snowball.
Samsonite briefcases.
A big snowball he hit it with. and
These
it
were
opened up.
thick Samsonite briefcases. Only the best.
Only
U.S. Treasury.
the finest.
they make a big deal at the beginning of showing a scene where you have to like double swipe the suitcase to open it. Nope. Just like a big snowball pounding on the top's fine too.
Yeah.
Stallone cracks it on a mountain and $1,000 bills fly everywhere.
Who's on the $1,000 bill?
Pappy.
Pappy. I think it's like one of our known like. I think it's like Grover Cleveland.
That fake money looked extra fake. It wasn't even green. It was
$100 million
black.
in 3 cases.
The ink was black on those $1,000 bills. Totally different.
$1,000 bill is out of circulation now, I believe.
So what does that mean, out of circulation? Like, pretty much they wouldn't be able to spend it or break it down because they'd just be like, these haven't been.
Well, they weren't supposed to be able to spend it anyway, right? It was like supposed to be for
John
international
Lithgow's character
bank
could-
transfers or something.
Yeah.
For
Knew
some
all these
reason,
people.
John Lithgow could hack that. I didn't really.
Is it because he's a philosopher? My favorite one-liner he had, I wrote it down. Kill a few people, they call you a murderer.
Oh God!
Kill a million and you're a conqueror. Figures.
Go figure.
I mean, we've all heard that quote before, right? Like, that's not a John Lithgow.
That's not a
Rich.
Quaylen original.
I don't think so, man.
I think that is.
Oh.
Didn't Caesar say that or something as
Yeah.
he was murdering
Mao
everybody?
Zedong said that.
Stole it from Caesar. But so they go after
It
the
is
second
Grover
case.
Cleveland, by the way, on 1,000. Sorry to interrupt.
What?
It is Grover Cleveland on the 1,000.
It is Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
Wow, good call. I thought you were full of crap.
I said I think it was like one of our least known presidents, like good or bad. Does anybody know if he was a good or bad president?
He was
No,
fat,
no
right?
one will know if he was ever a good or bad
They
president.
named a Muppet after him.
You make valid points. They got to the second case. Now I'm kind of skipping around. So if you guys remember something funny, just tell me. Stallone. What?
The second case was like
Funny.
Snowman. It was like from the movie The Snowman. Like, I gave you all the clues, Mr. Police.
Stallone makes it to there's like an emergency cabin on the top of a mountain for some fucked off reason.
And his tongue's dragging.
Yeah.
His girlfriend's already up there.
Got up there in 5 minutes. She gives him a sweater, which warms him up immediately.
She has to break the glass, not to get a gold bar, but a sweater.
To the sweater.
Is it like a 1930s sweater or something? Like, what was the deal?
Double wool, extra itchy. Double vest.
Made of twine.
Wool. But like Faf said, they find a case, they burn the money for fire, Pablo Escobar style. And when the bad guys arrive to it, it's a snowman with the case in front of it and the trackers in the snowman. And when he opens it, there's one $1,000 bill that what looks like to be permanent marker, but he asks for a pencil. And he's like, hey, Bill. And that looks like permanent marker all the way. And it says, won a trade. And that's when everyone's like, oh, God damn it, motherfucker's still alive.
How awesome would it have been if it said, want to play a game?
Oh, that would have been so cool.
It's basically what he's saying, though. He's like, this is a cat and mouse game now. I can't believe they had enough time to make a snowman, though.
That's so ridiculous.
That's a decent snowman.
I'm beginning to dislike this, Mr. Walker.
It was it wasn't a spectacular snowman, but it was like, hey, we got 5 minutes, but we got home, man. And then
It's definitely a punch in the dick in terms of building a snowman. It's like, why?
But why go through all that effort? Why go through all that effort for terrorists you don't even like? Like, give them like the fuck you snowman.
They're not going to appreciate this art.
Why not just leave the case there when they open it and it says want to trade? Why the snowman? It had no significance whatsoever. They never brought up once before that, like John Lithgow could have gone, I'll make you a snowman on this mountain. Like, that would have been like, okay, this makes sense. But they never once mentioned a snowman.
Valid argument.
Just my thought. But bad guy, some odd reason a guy has like night vision goggles when he's looking for
In the middle of the day.
Yeah.
well, it went from middle of the day to night, like instantly. It was very peculiar.
I think they confused like infrared with night vision. There's like, let's mash that up into one technology.
But guy spots Jesse and Gabe in the snow. He's going after him, spraying a machine gun at him. Somehow doesn't hit them. And does anybody want to describe this dude's death? It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, sure. Sylvester Stallone snowboards him off snowboards on him until he flies off the mountain.
He grinds him. He grinds him on the sick rail all the way down the mountain. And then Batman Begins, saves himself.
Yeah,
with the ice pick.
I'm telling you, it's one of the only movies that Christopher Nolan's ever seen. But yeah,
Dude, okay, I saw the tweet, and then I watched it after I saw your tweet, and I was like, holy shit, this is like Batman. That's a scene from Batman.
Batman 1, Batman 2, Heat, Batman 3. Just stealing all of his shit. But yeah, he lights a flare off, blinds this dude, and then shoves his face pretty much point where he rips it off with ice all the way off until he throws him off into a dark abyss. One of my absolute favorites.
Was this before or after John Lithgow said, like, it has to be after, because Rocky asks him, he's like, so what's in these briefcases? And this is like Lithgow's first classic line that kind of sets up the rest of them.
Shoots, socks, $100 million, the usual stuff.
Shirts, socks, $100 million, the usual stuff. It's like cracking jokes on the side of this crag. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll say, I mean, there's a lot that happens like in between like the third case and after the third case. Because like Hal has the roughest go of this like whole movie, and he never really has a redemption scene. Like, not that he was bad or anything, but like, shit just happens. He loses his girlfriend. Then those two like what do you call it? Not surfer dudes, but just crusty. Yeah, those two young dudes,
stoner friends,
show up on the mountain.
Hippie.
And they're like, Hal, what you doing out here, brother? We were in Tent City. Sylvester Stallone wrote those lines. They'd rather be at an air hockey table.
So Hal is like everyone's kind of like bad mojo, right?
Yeah,
If he sees you, you're gonna probably
you're
die.
gonna die because like they get one of the kids, like they straight shoot him. The other dude, like MacGyver Mission Impossible's it and jumps off the side of the mountain and lives.
Which he didn't hesitate at all when his bro got mowed
He
down.
was like, "Fuck this!"
And the way that it's shown too, it's like a super slow mo like Baywatch running scene, and then like these little red pops just come in his
Squibs
back,
just
like, pop,
flying.
pop, pop. Like it's so gory and violent. I'm like, yes.
I will say this though. Out
Apparently,
of all the
this almost had an
characters-
NC-17 rating too.
What did?
This movie
How?
almost had an NC-17
Why?
because it was like way more violent originally, and they'd like tone it back.
Ah, man.
Oh, I wish they would have toned it up.
I think we're short.
And
like
originally,
one P and
they
V
shot the bunny
for that rating.
with the thing.
Oh yeah.
I think that maybe this movie came out in a time when conservatism was at a height because
This is Bush Senior time, right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
right
this-
after Reagan, this does not seem like anywhere close to an NC-17. Like the women are in full snow gear. There's nothing close to nudity, and
I wish I would have seen some bags. Jessie was pretty hot.
well, dude,
Coulda
she's
used
completely
bags.
worthless otherwise. That's for damn sure.
Hey, Jessie's a hero. She saves Sylvester Stallone. You leave Jessie the fuck out of this. She's an angel. But
Can your angel fly?
no.
Oh, Pappy wasn't even on to hear that, and he just put his headphones back on.
You missed a fight over Jessie and her coolness.
I said she's worthless. Stevie said she's pretty good.
Called her an angel. But so one of the surfer bros dies. Then here comes like the old man Pappy of the movie. Pappy, do you want to describe how the old Pappy veteran character of the movie passes?
Well, yeah.
In front
first
of
all,
how?
you got to give some props to Frank because he's like an artist. He's drawing like abstract bananas eating monkeys at the beginning of the movie. Like,
That's art, baby.
you really grow to like Frank, and then he lands the helicopter and he sees the what's that girl's name? It's like she's like the badass
Crystal.
evil girl. Crystal, yeah. Crystal's playing dead, and then she tricks him, and then the crazy English striker dude, who I don't know if we've talked about him yet.
We'll get to
shoots
him.
Frank in cold blood right there on the mountain. For
Do you
no
guys not
reason.
think that was the most emotionally pulling scene, though? When he's like yelling Frank, and he has like two guys holding him down and a gun, like.
Well, then they just let him go, like, watch your man die.
Well, this movie has like a lot of things that just like happen over and over again. Like if you're playing a drinking game, like every time someone zipline drinks, every time Yandu like yells out someone's name, like no, drink.
Take a shot. You could play a cliffhanger drinking game really easily. You might have to tweet that out because that'd be a really fun one. But Frank dies without even muttering a word. I was really sad about that. He
Rip Frank.
Is that true?
what?
He doesn't say anything?
He just just kind of putters away.
So his
Fades
last,
away.
his last words are something like, "What are you doing? I'm trying to save you."
Yeah, I'm trying to help you. He's so confused. Like she has a gun in his face.
It's like, yeah,
What?
back up, old man, get out of there.
Yeah.
It's sad because they
Adapt,
didn't have
Frank.
to shoot. British dude shoots the old man, right?
Yeah, the football player.
He calls it soccer.
He did call it.
He called it soccer, and I was real pissed off
weird.
about that because that's how I know Stallone wrote that line. No self-respected Australian, any other place in the world would call it. I mean, they just would have called it football. But it would have
Especially if he's using a word like striker.
Yeah,
he's gonna call
striker.
it football.
Yeah, like Stallone picked up the script. No one's gonna know what this means. Gotta change it to soccer.
football. No strikers in football.
Stallone was in a soccer movie though.
Victory, right?
I think so. With like,
Michael Caine.
and I think Pele.
Yeah.
That movie come out.
It's about Americans beating the Nazis at soccer. The Nazis. I think it came out in the early 80s.
Yeah, it's real.
That's where he heard the word striker and just remembered
Striker.
it.
And football
Didn't
for the
remember
first
anything else
time.
about soccer.
And Michael Caine. I wish he would have been in this movie. That'd have been perfect.
Should we pause and just talk about Stallone and how there are some allegations floating?
No, not against
No.
Sly.
Yeah, right, Pat?
Yeah, big time.
What are the what are the
There's-
allegations? Why did I say
So
it like that?
apparently, yeah, he forced a girl into having a three-way in Vegas back in the 80s, 82. But as recently as January 2nd, he's now flat out denying the claims and lawyering up. So now it's kind of a he said, she said type deal. So I don't think spoilers should comment either way. Josh is laughing at rape, by the way, right now.
We're not editing out a drop of that silence.
Why did you do that? It didn't make any... You act like I can't see you on Skype going shh. Buffoon.
All right, Pappy covered it.
Tricky Sly. So Frank dies.
Tricky
Then,
Sly. Trick that girl into having a threesome. Against her
let's
will.
leave. We shouldn't
Against her will.
Okay, so I have to ask, whose death... Okay, so we have a lot of deaths from here on out. But Crystal's was my favorite. I think hers was the first. When they're at the chopper. And I think they're talking about killing Hal again. Because they've like point a gun at Hal every 5 minutes. And like, we have no problem killing you, but they never do. And Crystal's about to board the chopper because she can fly. Actually, no, my bad. They're getting mad at Travers because Travers is getting fed up with it. Must be done with the whole thing. And what does John Lithgow say to Crystal when he's behind her and like licks her face?
I know.
Josh, king of puns. What was it?
He's like, do you know what love is all about? Sacrifice.
Do you know what real love is, Crystal?
No.
Sacrifice.
He says it like a fucking. He's like sacrifice. Says like a snake at the end. Just blows a hole in her. It's like, oh, John.
Dude, and he like messes around with her corpse too. Like she's kind of in the way, and he like just like
yanks her back.
Yeah,
those two were obviously lovers.
That's weird.
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't give a shit. She was good. Now she's gone.
We skipped a death though. My favorite.
Okay, are we talking about Darius?
We're talking about Kynette.
Who?
Kynette?
Kynette.
Darius from Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Darius, man.
Okay.
Darius,
Cool
man.
Runnings, man.
Yeah, so he, just to cut it short here, Sylvester Stallone.
They're in a goddamn cave.
What does he do? What is it called? Deadlifts him into
He overhead
stalactites.
presses him.
Yeah.
Overhead presses
Bane,
him.
how does Bane break Batman's back?
In a cave.
In a cave, and he puts him over his goddamn head.
There's another scene that I
It's another scene that no one's ripping off.
And there's bats in this cave.
There's bats
Yeah.
in the cave.
And
like
they do like
Christopher
the
Nolan
scene
was
from Batman
typing, like,
Begins where he
Bat
ducks
cave
down and all the bats fly around him.
inspiration
Bat cave death
in movies.
in movies. And it's
there's
cool
like, a
because
lot of other ideas.
Darius is he's like a kung fu master in the cave, and he's whipping Sylvester Stallone's ass. He even like
He has a
pistol
huge
whips
knife.
Jesse.
Got a huge knife.
Kynette, what's going on? Where's the money?
He said he torched it.
Where is he now?
He dropped down into some cave.
You've had your chance. Move it out now. Crystal, get the C4.
Roger. Just give me 5 minutes.
I said get the fuck out of there.
Good. And blow out that black bastard while you're at it.
Also, another Nolan thing. Did you notice when that dude put that huge knife to Hal's face?
Like here, gonna make your mouth.
I'm gonna
bigger.
make her smile.
Yeah,
bigger,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't need to hear that fucking shit from you, boy. Come on.
Maybe this boy should make this big mouth a little bigger.
It's all connected. Christopher Nolan has seen 2 movies.
I have to ask a question though.
Calling your ass out.
Was this not the most frustrating part of the movie when Sarah is just when Jesse's just in the background
Cowering.
with her hands on her head and like Sylvester Stallone's getting the crap beat out of him, and this is like classic damsel in distress, cliche bull crap that I think a lot of people would hate to see. It doesn't really hold up in 2018. Like,
She's
what
a
is
small
she?
gal, though.
She's not even looking at it. She's like.
I don't know. I mean,
She calls him out earlier in the movie about not having the balls to climb again.
Ooh.
And here she is just...
also a guy as big as Stallone just getting beat up by a much smaller man. It's like, well, what am I gonna do?
Well, Leon small? I thought Leon was huge.
Well, plus he had like karate moves. He was like karate chopping and high kicking
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
But she wasn't even attempting anything.
But
She wasn't trying to find a sharp icicle.
I think it was like classic Rocky style, though, of like getting your ass whooped for 14 rounds, and the 15th round come out of nowhere and beat him. Like that's like the classic Rocky
sneak attack kick. Doesn't she like drop in and kick him at one point? Like he's like, I'm over here, and then she like sneak kicks him.
I'm in here. You're making it too easy for me. No bullets, bitch.
Yeah, they think they're gonna have like a good plan, but then it ends up being a very weak Jessica kick.
But
whatever. I don't care about her name because she's like, I don't agree. I don't agree that she's like a very strong female.
No,
character.
I don't think she is. Crystal's the strongest female character. Like,
is that
she's scary though.
Yeah,
she's
the evil one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
she
should
knows
see her
how
make
to
a
deal
cake.
with C4. She can pilot a plane.
Yeah, she's pretty badass.
She can pilot a helicopter as well. I gotta imagine a helicopter and a plane are far different from each other. You have to think. I mean, they do different things. But, yeah, he gets spiked in a cave, and it's a phenomenal death. Because he, like, dies on the spike. It's not even, like, I mean...
I think it's like 2 spikes.
Stalactite.
And then he gets thrown down on the ground with 2 perfectly shaped holes into his back.
And then he gets bombed. Like, what a way to... Even if he, like, woke up again, it's like a bomb's going off here shortly. After the bomb...
Yondu again yells, "There's a bomb! Watch out!"
There's a bomb! Because, you can hear from there. Going back to the striker dude, Travers, British dude, and Hal are walking at the edge of a mountainside now. And everyone's pissed off at everybody. There's not many people left. Numbers are dwindling. And British dude wants to kill Hal. And he does my favorite thing ever that villains do, and he monologues. Do you want to go over the monologue, Mikey?
Oh, you're swearing now. That's a penalty kick. Run sportsman-like. A lovely little chip shot. He dribbles past 1 defender. 2 defenders. 3 defenders.
He was just what? He was just like doing a play-by-play of a soccer game or something the entire time, and he finally gets Hal to the edge of the cliff, and he's like, Stryker lines up, takes 2 steps to his left, pulls back, and like goes and kicks Hal in the face, or goes to try and kick Hal in the face, and Hal. Well, he does kick Hal in the face, and Hal is hanging from the edge of the cliff, and then he's kind of hanging over him, and Hal somehow manages to get his shotgun from over his shoulder.
He also knifes him in the foot.
Which, why didn't he pull out the knife sooner? You're waiting for it the whole time, right?
That was my wife saying. She's like, stab him. Stab him now. Stab him. She said, why isn't he stabbing him?
Another Rocky thing. He wanted Hal to be able to...
The 14th round.
Yep.
I mean, you just wait, you get your ass kicked for 14 rounds, 15th round, knife in the foot, shotgun blast.
Did they show that he had his knife before he
picked it? He got Frank's knife, I believe.
Frank Frank didn't say anything, but he kind of like... how about here's the knife?
As he wasted away.
As he just withered away old man style. It's kind of sad. But shotgun blasts him off the cliff. Then Travers, who's now a mile away somehow, when that whole sequence took 2 minutes, he sees a body falling off a cliff, and he thinks it's Freaky Deaky Hal. So confusing to me.
And he's like, I told him to keep
quietly.
Season's over, asshole!
Sit quietly.
He's wearing the same clothes.
And then he shoots his gun like multiple times, like 2 seconds later. But anyway.
Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my place here. So, British dude dies. It's all that's left is Jesse, Gabe, Travers, and Quaylen. The CIA, FBI are now on Travers' tail. They realize that he was a bad guy all the time, especially with Quaylen and him screaming at each other over the phone exactly what had happened.
Yeah,
And
these guys do some great detective work.
Phenomenal
this guy.
detective work.
Just sitting,
that radio
just sitting in
Is
the
that
plane,
Travers, one of our own, an inside man?
just sitting in the heated private jet, flying and deducting what they can from the intercom.
This is an open line. I don't care.
Like, goddamn, what's going on down there? Sounds pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty hysterical. I'm kind of losing my spot. How did Travers die? I'm also forgetting this. How did Travers die?
Travers.
Oh, he finally dies when Rocky falls underneath the ice,
Oh, that is
Oh
right.
yeah.
which is a great scene.
Another Batman Begins thing. So,
Okay, yeah, that is, isn't it?
Batman Begins!
Isn't he stuck underneath the ice at some point?
yep. He's stuck under the ice and he's like punching it, like, let me out. Yeah, but for some odd reason, so Gabe is like free hanging from a bridge that Travers is walking over, throws him off the bridge. If I remember correctly, they both fall through the ice, or one of them's on top.
No, yeah, Travers is on top and Stallone's underneath. And you think that Stallone is, like, on his last leg in desperation. But really, he's just lining up the shot, guys. That underwater, through the ice,
With
3-bullet shot.
What is he
With the
shooting?
bolt
With his
gun?
shirt
Yeah,
off.
what is he
too.
shooting? Because these bullets
There's
are
bolts.
huge.
No, they're bolts. They're like, you know how he's climbing and he shot bolts to like tie, so he didn't have to like hammer them in.
I didn't catch that either.
Yeah,
It's like he was shooting spikes or something.
that's like he shot him with spikes.
Because they did, like, an extra animation. It was like,
It was huge. He was shooting. It's like vampire hunting with these things.
silver spikes.
I also love in this movie how after he dies and falls through the ice, they cut back to the CIA and FBI guys, and they're like, "My God, we need to find Travers." Then they cut back to him, and it shows him floating under ice with blood, and it's like, "Oh, that's just perfect."
Yeah, he's just flowing downstream under the ice.
Never to be found again.
Body not caught on anything.
But Gabe has the third thing of money. All that's left is him, Jesse, and Quaylen, and Hal, obviously. But so they want to like meet up and make a deal. And what kind of causes everything is Quaylen kidnaps Jesse when he's like, "I picked up some precious cargo on the way."
And I paused it at this point, and there were 15 minutes left in the movie, and actually only 8 minutes left. But it's almost like this is the third act.
Yeah.
After he has Jesse kidnapped.
Yeah,
like 5
it's a
minutes
free for
wrapped
all.
up.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So for some odd reason, John Lithgow lets Jesse like away without ever getting the money.
He lets her down first, which is not.
That's not a bad guy thing. It's
No.
typically like, give me the money first, then you get your gal. That's typically how all standoffs work.
Did that bother you, Pat?
What? The standoff at the end? No, not really.
Yeah.
Lithgow gave up the girl before he got the money.
The game theory behind the standoff.
I actually kind of liked it because I like he's so every move that he makes is so like Machiavellian.
There you go.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're getting it.
He's just so like trying to make the best deal he possibly can. If that's murdering some weird girl he has sexual attention with, or if it means like he has to like concede here, like he's on his last leg and he needs that money to escape the country. So that kind of made sense.
You just kind of like let her go. Like, I'm kind of tired of this. Just give me the goddamn money.
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't have any other options. Like Rocky was holding all the cards at that point. Because if he drops that money, then he's going to jail forever.
Like, Rocky can stand there longer than the plane, then the helicopter can float. Because they do
Exactly,
make a reference
yeah.
that the helicopter is like low on fuel or something.
Oh, okay.
Plus
So
the
it truly was
popos
like a
on their way
play,
too.
like, hey.
So like he's got to like just make a deal quick. He didn't have any
Right.
other choice. So.
And now that Rocky works for the FBI because he doesn't want him to get the money, he takes the bag of money that is left, full of snow and money, and throws it at the propeller. Because, you just can't let the bad guy win.
And somehow that throws the helicopter off course.
This sets off a chain reaction of events. So
This
crazy.
is awesome. Mikey, what are the
Death
chain
spiral.
reactions?
Well, I mean, the helicopter has trouble flying after the money flies into the propeller, and then are they both inside the helicopter at this point?
No, so
They somehow end up
Gabe,
inside
like-
the helicopter.
Gabe wants to tie down the helicopter. So he straps it down to that ladder on the side of the mountain.
Oh, right. Metal wire ladder or something that just happens to be on the side of the mountain.
Yeah, just
It's also connected to the bridge. It's connected to the rope. It's connected to the plane.
everything.
It's connected to a lot of stuff along the side of this mountain. And then they keep fighting somehow and somehow end up in the helicopter still fighting. And then the helicopter kind of goes sideways and crashes into the side of the mountain while Stallone is hanging from.
I was pretty happy to see Hal rooting for Gabe at this point. He could have been like, die, motherfucker, die. But no, he was very happy to root for our hero.
And this movie was made after the Twilight Zone movie where all those people died from the helicopter.
Oh yeah, because Max Landis' father murdered people.
Yeah, John Landis was
a
like,
murderer.
fly this helicopter right by them. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. It'll all work out.
Remember, shithead, keep your arms and legs in the vehicle. And all.
I was gonna say you're right though. He somehow ends up back in the helicopter where he didn't want to be. Why not just let the bad guy go? I mean, he's gonna run out of fuel. Nothing. He's gonna die in the mountain. Just go. But Sylvester Stallone gets out of the helicopter before it's gonna fall because the bridge is the ladder's giving way, and he gives out another great pun, which I believe was. Keep your arms and legs inside a helicopter at all times.
Yeah, he's taking a cue from John Lithgow.
Yeah, he's doing the puns now. He's like, I'm in control of the puns now. And he's like, yeah, keep your arms and legs in the helicopter at all times.
Don't stick around.
And it drops, and the explosion it gives off is like a freaky deaky bomb.
Instantaneously,
It's
as soon as
humongous.
the roof hits the ground, it implodes.
But their editing choice of using that super
There was a quick
close-up
cut. There was a
of
quick
John
cut.
Lithgow's face
Through a crack in the seats. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't even extreme Oreo. It was just this is not great.
I'm all out of puns. But there is a quick cut before it hits the ground, and it's just instant explosion. Oh yeah, it's awesome to watch. That's when Gabe reunites with Hal and Super Babe Jesse, and just kind of ends there.
Yourselves, over.
Yeah, this is Hal Tucker, Rocky Mountain Rescue. Hey, we're glad to see you guys. If you're looking for Mr. Quaylen, try about 4,000 feet south of here. He'll be the one wearing our helicopter.
Over. Good. I'll arrange transportation for the three of you if you can sit tight for a while.
It ends so abruptly. I was talking to Mikey before the podcast. 1 second they're on the mountain, the next second it's just roll credits. All right, we'll send help. Instantly roll credits. There's no
They're climbers,
high-fiving
man.
or
Isn't that how the whole movie started, with sending help? This is not good.
Don't send help.
yeah.
People
All right,
always
guys, go.
die when you send help.
Just
Sarah
climb
died.
the zip line
Frank
to the
died.
helicopter. It'll be okay.
But yeah, that is Cliffhanger. Do you guys have any last thoughts on the film?
Yeah, I think the huge plot, where the plot breaks down, is for some reason when Sylvester Stallone has Sarah at the end of his, just barely holding on.
Other hand?
He can't pull her up.
Right.
But yet, when he has...
That was the redemption arc, man.
What, he's just stronger now?
Dude, Jesse's a much smaller gal than Sarah, alright?
So it's about losing weight? That's what this movie's about?
Just saying. I think Sarah was a solid 4 inches taller than sweet Jesse, and I think Jesse was a little lighter. Like, that's a lot of pounds to be thrown in the air.
Man, that's insensitive.
I don't think so. I'm just saying Jesse's a small, cool, hot gal. Anybody else have any lasting thoughts for yes or no's? Alrighty, Pappy, yes or no? The man who lives in Denver.
Yes. Hard yes. It's schlocky and silly, and it could be 20 to 45 minutes shorter, but it's a hard yes because I laughed my ass off the whole time. So, and I would like to mention that this movie had 3 Academy Award nominations too. I mean, all for like technical stuff, but
seriously,
it does hold up pretty well, except for like the Hans Gruber like overhead falling shots. Those are the only ones that are like, that's so stupid I'm laughing at it. But yes from moi.
That's awesome. 1 yes. George.
I'll give it a yes. I was a little disappointed there wasn't a cliffhanger at the end of this movie, because
my wife was too.
It seems like it could have, I don't know, just like a quick funny pun at the end, but ultimately...
What, like Lithgow crawling out of the burning?
He's actually still hanging on to the end.
They're on top of the mountain. Aliens just land out of nowhere. Like, where do we go from here?
Sarah's alive at the bottom of the cavern from the beginning of the movie. Her eyes open up.
This movie pulls out all the stops to entertain you, and it's a very entertaining movie. And I was kind of joking about the helicopter shots earlier, but I think if any movie wants to make use of helicopter shots, it should be a movie that's about all this space and time and how high up they really are while they're cliffhanging.
The mountains.
And as funny as the movie is, it maybe 2 or 3 times the tension does get high enough, like the beginning scene in the movie where like you really start to feel that sense of heights and fright.
Money.
I loved watching Batman Begins again for the third time. This movie does have like a lot of the same beats as Batman Begins, but it did it before, and all those beats still hold up.
And Dark Knight Rises.
And Dark Knight Rises, yeah. But yeah, I think this movie has like one of the best like cold openings to any movie I think I've ever seen. Like, it's pretty memorable. I've seen this movie before.
It's like a short film in itself.
Right? Yeah, I've seen this
it's
movie
like an epilogue before the movie kicks off.
It reminded me of like Jaws, like when the girl's getting eaten by the shark at the very beginning. Like, it's just like a super scary jolt.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in probably like since Batman Begins, because I would have remembered all of the same beats as the avalanche falling and stuff like that. But I think it's a good movie. I enjoyed it all the way, and I don't think it like looks terrible like other movies that have aged since then, but it's pretty cool. I think all the helicopter shots look really great, and I think it's Stallone's like best movie, honestly. It's entertaining throughout, and I don't really think Rocky is entertaining throughout the entire way, so I liked it a lot.
Before Stevie goes,
I was gonna hit on some things.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So this movie's based on a true story, believe it or not.
Premised by John Long.
Josh Long's
uncle.
Relative. Seriously, you might be somehow. I don't know. But that's somewhere in the Long family tree.
A fourth Long on the pod.
I wish Brother Long was...
Brother
Jordan was here.
During the Yosemite rush of cliffhangers, if you will, rock wall climbers, this plane in 1977 in Yosemite National Park, coming from Colombia, carrying hundreds of pounds of marijuana, I can imagine there's at least 1,000 pounds in that plane, crashed into a small pond or lake, if you will, in Yosemite.
Nice.
And rock climbers caught word because one of the rock climbers' girlfriends worked at like the rescue station, and she was like, "Hey, this plane just went down around here," and all the rock climbers went, and which was beneath the plane is beneath the ice, and got all the weed out and sold it for tons of cash, which was covered in jet fuel and gasoline, and
Human remains.
only 2 people were on the plane, so I don't know. But yeah, those rock climbers in the 70s made a fortune. So that's where the true story is based on.
It's got a little bit of D.B. Cooper plane heist 2 thing going on. I mean, that's the only plane heist I've ever really heard of before.
Yeah.
You know D.B. Cooper?
This was after
Ted
that.
Cruz.
That's Alex Cooper's brother.
And Alice Cooper's nephew, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
But in this world, they said there was never a plane heist that was pulled off successfully. So D.B. Cooper does not exist in this universe.
I bet you this is the same universe as The Grey and Aliens, right? Did anybody have an add-on symbol?
A Weymouth or a Wayman or whatever.
Okay, other thing, those wolves that were supposed to be eating the surfer dude that was hanging by the tree, those were just huskies. You could tell by their tails. I don't know if those were supposed to be huskies, but why the fuck are there just 5 huskies out on the side of a mountain?
But they're huskies with insulin injected, so.
Super dogs. You are correct.
You have to have listened to the whole pod to get that joke.
Anything else you want to touch on before I give my yes or no? Okay, that is it. This is a hard yes for me. This movie is enjoyable. This movie's just about as enjoyable as about any movie we've done. There's just a fun movie to watch. Good action movie, especially for a Stallone movie. Outside of Rocky, his movies are not the best. I mean, even including Rambo in there. But definite yes for me. Okay, y'all ready? Who wants to go first? Who wants to go last? Who's the most recent?
I haven't.
I won from Pappy. He's most recent.
It's been a while for me.
Are you Pan's Labyrinth, Josh?
Yes.
Okay.
Before the grave.
So, George, you want to go first or last?
I don't know what the game is.
You can go over. It's closest to.
Last! I will Pappy the shit out of it, too. I will cheat, if I can.
Okay. The only stipend I'll give is you minimum have to go 1,000 over, 1,000 under.
1,000?
It's quite a bit.
1,000?
Okay.
1,000. Trivia question is, young lads. You'll go last?
Last.
You'll go first. Mikey goes second. Okay. $100 million. How much does $100 million weigh in $1 bills?
It's at least over 1,000 pounds, guys.
Oof. There's a reason they carried $1,000 bills. I just realized.
All right.
How much does it weigh? Closest to can go over. In American bills. Just so we're clear on that. Pappy.
Let me think for a second.
I was stunned.
What kind of math is he doing? His eyes are buried in like the back of his head. He's doing hard math.
I'm gonna say
he would have to know how much a dollar bill
20
weighs to do any math.
million
So,
pounds.
complete guess.
How much?
20 million pounds.
Alrighty.
20 million pounds?
Yeah.
I'm last.
Money.
I'm gonna say 50,000 pounds.
50,000 pounds, Michael Toller.
Okay.
Of $1 bills.
$1 bills that make up 100 million.
Before I answer this,
You won't sound stupid,
Is
I promise.
Pappy's answer as outlandish as 1100?
No, you can't. Don't tell him.
Yours
Don't
will
tell
forever
him.
be the dumbest trivia trivia reply we've ever had.
I'm gonna guess 45,000 pounds. So I'm taking the under, basically, but trying to play within your rules.
And
Unless it's
your
close to
retail
29.
price? $1 bills in the amount of 100 million. 220,462 pounds. Your new winner, Michael Toller.
Oh.
No, you're the furthest away by far.
Pap, you were moons away.
I think that was worse than 1,100 pounds.
No wolf will ever weigh as much as a grizzly. Anyway, before Mikey thinks over what movie he's going to pick, let's send it off to Spoiler Man.
Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcast spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme. Our number is 903-776-4507. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe on SoundCloud or iTunes. Please don't forget to leave us a review by searching for movie spoilers, clicking on the cereal bowl, select the reviews tab, and leave us some stars and some words.
Mikey, do you have a movie you have selected?
I think I've got a movie. I was gonna choose another survival movie because I know
I love them.
But I'm not gonna choose that.
What movie was it? Just so I can steal it later.
The Edge with Alec
I
Baldwin.
love that movie. With Anthony Hopkins and the bear. So we can talk about Josh. I thought wolves were as big as bears.
Cursed with wolves.
But go ahead.
We were talking about this movie for like 2 minutes in the thread earlier, but I think I want to do Willow.
Yeah.
The precursor to all of the
Mad Mortigan.
Super pumped. What
Willow.
year to come out?
I
Is this
don't
what
know.
Boss Baby is based on?
No, this is what Lord of the Rings is based on. This is where George R.R. Martin got all of his...
Seriously.
It's like wizards and dungeons. And
Oh, I can't wait then. That's going to be pumped.
Is it better than Legend? Please, God.
Wait, you guys have never seen it for real? It's so awesome.
I've never seen it.
I'm pretty
Val
sure
Kilmer,
this is
baby.
better than Legend.
Pappy is on Skype, pumping fists, flexing his muscles.
All right, we're going to do Willow then. Tune in next time. Thanks for listening. And this was Spoilers.
And while we're in a Spoilerman break, I think Mikey can think, and I can talk to Pappy about kind of like a question we had with each other up in the kitchen before we started the podcast.
Can we bring that up?
Kind of a confusion.
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah, can we start again? Just throw it in.
Yeah, this could go at the end of the
Yeah,
episode right now. This is all at the end of the episode.
It's a vasectomy. Pap, I was stunned when I heard this. I had no idea this. Me and Pap were talking. Me and Josh talking about houses, selling houses, renting houses, and then we came to this. Did you know when you have a vasectomy, like liquid still comes out? I always thought you just shot blanks. Like I thought your boy just was like dusty.
I did too. I thought it saw like a puff of air, like an empty.
That's what I thought. No, Josh is like it still comes out.
Okay, so
You thought your dick literally coughed?
I thought
like a little bit of dust comes out. Like,
but I made the
it's
point.
like it's screaming psych.
You need oil. You need some liquid oil in there to kind of keep things running. Though.
Midnight oil.
You
Keep
can't
it
just-
burning.
is it still the same color?
Oh, that's a good question.
What other colors are possible?
They
Dust?
cauterize...
I'd like to think all of them.
They cauterize like the part of your balls where they make sperm, so that part doesn't get mixed in with the rest of whatever sperm is, ejaculate is. So you're still shooting all that extra stuff. You're just not shooting out sperm too.
So this came up because I have 3 daughters now, and that's it for us.
I was going to ask
And
Josh if he was
Stevie's
going to get a vasectomy.
And then for some reason, why did it come up that
I asked you, I was like, so you're going to be kind of bummed when like you go to the show and there's like
it doesn't look the same?
no bang at the end? It's just kind of like your boys just screaming psych back at you.
But to be fair, I had to ask my wife and I's nurse friend once. Teresa put me up to it. She's like, I don't know. Ask her. And I was like, that's a weird question.
I thought your boys were done. I did not know they ran out. Like, I didn't know that they kept, like... I thought, like, it was an abandoned mall. I didn't know they still, like, man their stations.
So, like, you know when a ship is pulling up all the fish it caught out of the ocean?
I thought it was zeros.
Now it's just the nets. No fish, I think. Empty nets.
You're like Forrest Gump when he first started the shrimp boat. Okay.
Sperm make up
and
only
we're
2 to
back.
5% of ejaculate, so you will not notice any difference in the volume of your ejaculate.
Wait,
Sorry,
what?
Had we moved on?
Wait, what are you talking about? That's completely out of context.
Sperm make up only 2 to 5% of the ejaculate, so you will not notice any difference after a vasectomy in the volume of your ejaculate.
Ooh, that's even better.
Oh, man. My daughter's peeking on the stairs over there.
Good night to us.
No, you guys should check it. She's... Hey, Ellie. Ellie's on the pod. Right after the sperm talks. Perfect. And I hope she never listens to this in like 10 or 15 years.
Make it 20.
That was spoilers.